Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and we're going to be looking at a couple of models from CRKT for 2021. These are primarily the ones that caught my eye, so I decided to pick them up and get them in so I can test them out for myself, check out what they're all about. So I figured I could easily do individual videos on all these, but I wanted to do something a little bit different and just do this kind of one video where I'm going to be showcasing all these knives. So it might be a little bit longer than my usual videos, but I figured I'd do it a little bit different also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go each knife one by one. I'll read you the specs from the CRKT website directly, just kind of show you the knife and then just give you my opinion on it. This is more of an initial impression. In full transparency, I haven't really carried these knives extensively, so again, it's just going to be my initial impressions on them and why they caught my eye. So as you guys can see, I have 4 boxes of knives here, and then I have one open here. This is the CRKT Campano. It's also a new model for 2021, but I've actually already done a video on this one, so if you guys are interested in finding out my opinions on it, I'll go ahead and link it. So I'll put that one off to the side, and then what I'll do is I'll kind of start off from left to right, smallest box to largest box, and we'll take a look at the knives themselves. Alright, so starting with this one here, this is the smaller box. This is the CRKT Lonnie. So when I first saw this knife, I was pretty interested in it just because of the way that it looked. It looked really interesting. It definitely caught my eye, and I wanted to get it in to check it out. And here it is. Obviously, what caught my eye was the look of the knife itself. I really like the colorway, so the contrast from the blue pivot screw there, and then the blue pocket clip to the actual knife itself. So this is an assisted opening knife. This is a design by Leon Ma. So basically a couple specs on this. Blade length is 3.18 inches. Obviously it's a plain edge 8 CR13 MOV satin finished blade. This is overall length is 7.44 inches, and the weight is 4.1 ounces. And again, it is an assisted folding knife with a liner lock. So as I mentioned, I really like the way that this knife looked. Just the pattern that you have down here on the body of the knife really kind of spoke to me. I love the size of the knife. This is a great size for EDC. It is a little bit chunky, so obviously that is something to note. And then you do have a pretty nice deep right clip on this. I love the color blue there. That sets it off against the kind of grayish background of the knife itself. And you do have a lanyard hole in the back there. Some jimping right at the top here, and I like where they put the jimping kind of up here, where if you're going to choke up on the knife and do some finer cuts or push cuts and stuff like that, then it makes it easier to have the jimping up here. And it is not very aggressive just because it is kind of further spaced out, but it feels pretty nice in the hand there. Again, this is a tip-up carry, right or left-handed, and I like the fact that they put that insert right in there. As you'll notice in some of the other models, they left that out, and that's something that I didn't like just because I was always aware of it and I always felt it. I like the lanyard hole is also a triangle as opposed to a square. I don't know if you can make that out. Yeah, there you go. So that's just something that I found, but I think this is great for EDC tasks, and I love the size of this knife. So again, this is the CRKT Lonnie. All right, moving along, we'll set this one off to the side. We'll take a look at the next one here, and this is one that I wanted to go ahead and pick up because they finally came out with it in, I guess, the way that I liked it, and I'll let you know what I mean by that. And this is the CRKT CEO, and this is the flipper model. So the CEO has been out for a couple of years now, and I really like the aesthetics of it when it first came out. But the one thing I didn't like is the orientation of the pocket clip and the blade, meaning this was a tip down carry knife in the original manual one, and I'm more of a tip up carry. I just prefer that carry method. I usually will pick up knives that are that tip up carry as opposed to tip down, and because of the way that the pocket clip was oriented and the thumb studs on the original one, the original CEO, it was a tip up, or a tip down, I'm sorry. So I decided to go ahead and pick this one up just because on the flipper model they were actually able to make it you know, the way that I like it. So taking a look at the knife itself, again, you do have the flipper there. You deploy it, deploys really, really nice. This is a really nice and sleek knife. It is obviously a gentleman's carry, you know, perfect knife for that. So a couple of information from the site. This is designed by Richard Rogers, and it is blade length is 3.35 inches. Sorry, it's obviously a plain blade, AUS 8 satin finish blade, very, very thin, very. You know, obviously it comes to a very acute point. Overall length on this is 7.69 inches, and it is 1.9 ounces as far as the weight goes, so very, very light. Again, this is perfect for gentleman's carry inside of a suit, jacket, or, you know, in dress pants or something like that. This is going to be really, really nice. And then you do have a what do you call it? A liner lock there. Sorry about that. And then the handles are glass reinforced nylon. I'm not sure if I mentioned the on the Lonnie is 6061 aluminum on the handles on the Lonnie. So the CEO is it feels really nice. Obviously, you get a really nice full purchase on the knife itself. This is going to be obviously something that you're going to be using for light EDC tasks. I mean, this is, again, more of a gentleman carry. Pretty easy to get to the liner lock there, as you guys can see there. But again, it is, you don't have a cutout for it, so you do have to kind of reach in there, you know, kind of get that meaty portion of your thumb in there to disengage the liner lock and then go ahead and close it. As far as the pocket clip, I like the fact that they kept it rather short, rather small, but it comes all the way up to the top there. So this is going to, you know, hide inside of whatever pocket you put it in. And then also it is reversible, so if you want to go ahead and take that screw out and then just kind of flip it out over to the other side, so left or right hand carry. And because obviously it is a flipper, you can deploy it with either hand, so that's really cool. So again, this is the CEO flipper, so we'll put that one there to the side. And then taking a look at the next one here, this is one that when I saw it, it kind of struck a chord with me, just because I haven't really picked up a knife that has a like this look before, and again, when I show you the knife, you'll know what I'm talking about. And this is the PSD, which actually stands for Particle Separation Device. I thought that was pretty cool, very ingenious name there. And this is designed by Jim Hammond. So take a look at it here. And what I was talking about as far as not having a knife like this lately is a knife that has a carbon fiber scale look to it. I thought this was really awesome. And obviously the blue around the pivot screw there really caught my eye as well. Kind of the same reason as the Lonnie. So I really, really liked it. It has a really nice and high flipper here, so it's really easy to get to. And it is also assisted opening, which is, I like assisted opening knives. I know a lot of people don't, but you know, I don't mind them. So a couple specs on the knife itself. Blade length is 3.63 inches. Obviously, it's a plain edge. Blade steel is, they say 1.4116. Not exactly sure what that means. Trying to see if it's on here, but it's not on the blade itself. Obviously, satin finish. Overall length is 8.19 inches. The weight on this is 4.6 ounces. And what's really cool about this handle, you can't really see it at first glance, but it's one layer of black carbon fiber with black G10 base. And then obviously it does have a liner lock. So what that means is that you do have a layer on the top of carbon fiber, but then you can actually see it. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but you can see that underneath it is actually a layer of G10. So the handle is actually G10 and then overlaid with carbon fiber on top, which is really nice. It's pretty interesting. Never had a knife like that. It feels pretty interesting in the hand because you do feel kind of like carbon fiber, but the edge, you feel the G10 as well, so it grips your hand really nice. You do have some pretty functional knurling right up there, or not knurling, I'm sorry, jimping right up there. And you do have a forward finger choil, so if you want to choke up on the blade, you can. Now, as far as the blade, check out that look on the blade itself. It's almost like a harpoon style blade, which is nice. You do have this little ramp up here, so if you do have to choke up and put your thumb up there, you know, you can use the choil right there and then your thumb up there to do some pretty intricate cutting and stuff like that. You have a really sizable lanyard hole in the back here. Again, it is a liner lock, so I'll go ahead and close that. And it is assisted opening. Pocket clip. The pocket clip is rather small for the size of the knife, which is, I like it. I like the orientation of it. But then, again, this is a tip up or tip down carry, right-handed only. Now, this is something that I was talking about that when I was talking about the Lonnie, that they put the insert where you would, put the other side of the clip. On this one, they don't have that insert. So you do feel it, as I run my finger on top of there. Sometimes, it might get caught in there because, again, it's just kind of like an opening right there. So I almost wish that they would have, put, the kind of like a cover right there to cover that up, and it almost looks unfinished in my opinion. Again, it didn't have to be a carbon fiber cover if you wanted to. You could have left it just a black G10, but just cover that little hole right there, because not only do you have the actual hole of where the pocket clip will go, also the screw hole. You guys can see that. So again, that's just my opinion that I found as I was kind of handling the knife and stuff like that. So again, this is the PSD, or particle separation device. And then last but not least is this one here, which is the biggest box. And it's actually the one that I was looking forward to the most. And again, I'll show you guys the box here. This is the Ritual. If you guys have seen videos on this or information on it, you know that it is a pretty interesting looking knife. And here it is. Let me set this box off to the side. And this is it's designed by Alan Foltz. And obviously, as you guys can see right off the bat, it looks really, really awesome. Just a different colorway. So you have this white color with the blue bolsters right on top of there. The nice large pocket clip right there. And then obviously this is a flipper. It is also assisted opening. So the flipper's right here. You just got to put it out there. And then you get that blade. Really, really nice, really cool looking blade. So again, information on this, blade length is 4.37 inches. So again, it's a really large blade. Obviously plain edge. It is 12 C27 Sandvik steel, and it is satin finished. Overall length is 9.88 inches, so almost 10 inches. As you guys can see right here, it is a beefy, not beefy, but a really long knife. It's actually really, really thin. It's a lot thinner than I expected it to be. Weight on this is 6.10 ounces. Doesn't feel like it's that heavy, just because of the way that it carries in the pocket. And then the handle is, the bolsters are 2 CR13 stainless steel. So these blue bolsters right here. And the handles are ivory micarta. So it is polished, so it feels really nice in the hand. Obviously assisted folding with a liner lock right there. You do get a little bit of jimping in the liner lock, so it's easy to disengage. As far as the pocket clip goes, rather large pocket clip, but it is very deep ride, which is really nice. This is obviously tip up, right-handed only. Now you do have thumb studs right here as well that you can use if you wanted to. I almost wish that they would have maybe done the thumb studs in the same blue, or in blue, to kind of match the bolster there, just because they look kind of weird, just like these big black thumb studs there. You also have a jimping right here, which again, it's functional, but this blade, it's definitely not an EDC blade. It's in my opinion, it's something to show off. If you want to have it in your collection, just because you have just this really upsweep, big belly right there, it does come to a point, but you really can't use that point. I would almost say it would be a self-defense knife, but again, just from the looks and the way that it carries and everything like that, I would never use this knife as self-defense. Now, part of the reason that I picked up this knife, obviously because of the way that it looks, is because it reminded me of another knife that's in my collection that I really, really like. I've had it for years in my collection. It reminded me of it, and it's this one here. If you guys are familiar with this knife, this is the Spyderco Szabo, and let me go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about. So again, not so much of an upsweep blade like the Ritual has, but it has that really cool wow factor that these two knives I think share. So I have this knife in my collection. I've had it for years and I love it. And when I saw this one here, I decided to go ahead and pick it up. Again, it does fly right open with that assisted opening in the when you use either the thumb studs or the flipper tab there. So again, with the thumb studs, you can go ahead and flip it out just the same way. So I think it looks really, really cool. So again, these are the 5 knives that I picked up from CRKT's new 2021 line that I figured you might be interested in finding out some information on. I think they're really cool. I would definitely recommend that if you are on the fence on any of these, maybe with the exception of the compound here, if you want to go ahead and check out the video to understand what I'm talking about, you definitely pick up any of these knives. I think they'll go great in your collection. Obviously for EDC purposes, the Lonnie and the PSD are great for just everyday EDC. The Ritual is great to have in your collection, just maybe as a unique knife. And then the CEO Flipper is a perfect option for that gentleman's carry, kind of suit or dress pant carry. I think it'll work great. So there it is, just a quick look at all these knives. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.